Here we will use our graphing calculator to help us solve an application problem involving a quadratic model. First, we need to give the calculator the data, and to do so, we come to Stat and press Enter for Edit, and we type the X list into L1, and then we're going to type the median income list, I, into L2. So I'm going to pause my video to input that data. Since this list had several digits in each data value, I would take a moment to at least check before you commit to it and move from here, from the list screen. Next, we're asked to draw a scatter diagram or scatter plot and choose the correct graph. So to set up our scatter plot, we're going to go to second y equals. You notice in blue above that it says stat plot. We'll press enter. We'll press enter to turn it on. And from there, all of the defaults should be what we need for this particular problem. For instance, it's already selected scatter plot. The X list is in L1. The Y list is in L2. I've got the largest mark. You could change the color if you like, but everything's good. There's a couple of different ways that we can go from here. I could do a zoom stat. I could manually change my window, but I want to focus on what's provided here at the bottom of these graphs. This first piece of information gives us the window settings for the X axis. So let's go through this for the experience. The very first value is always going to be the X min. The second value in that bracket is going to be the X max. And the third value will be the X scale. The next set of brackets give us the values for the Y axis: min, max, and scale. So I'm going to set up those: min, max, and scale. And then press graph. And now I should have a graph that looks very similar to my answer choices. It makes it easier to select the best choice. Definitely looking at the shape of these points in the scatter plot, it's a nonlinear relationship. But I can be even more specific here. Now that I know some more information about quadratics, it looks to be quadratic. It has this parabolic look that opens down. So of my answer choices, I do want to select quadratic, and for a parabola to open down, the A value must be negative or less than 0. So that's the best choice to describe the relationship between the variables. Up next, we're asked to use a graphing utility to find the quadratic function that best fits this model, that relationship between age and median income. Okay, so I'm going to go to Stat. I'm going to scroll over to the right to highlight this Calc tab, and I want to select number 5. It says Quad Reg. That's short for Quadratic Regression. So I can just press the number 5. By default, again, it's going to use the values in the L1 as our X list and the values in L2 as our Y list. I can go ahead and store this regression equation. I think I'm going to do that right here by pressing alpha and trace at this point. That's a shortcut to get to your Y variables. What this does is it skips a step later on. I don't have to input what I'm getting ready to write here back in the Y equals screen. And since this one has multiple parts, I have a feeling I may need it later. So then I'm going to press calculate, and I have my quadratic in a standard or general form here, ax squared plus bx plus c, where I'm given the a, b, and c value. So I want to put those here into my quadratic regression or quadratic function of best fit. Take note of how you're asked to round. It says rounded to 3 decimal places as needed. So I'm going to do for instance, like this for my A value. And then for B, 86.975. And then for the last one, notice that there was already a minus sign here. So I don't need to include another minus sign to take care of this negative. That's already been included. So I'm just going to type in the value only. All right, and next we're asked to use the function that we found in Part B to determine the age at which an individual can expect to earn the most income. In other words, let's look for the maximum. Now, remember earlier when we did that whole pasting thing for store regression equation with alpha trace? Now you can see how that's paid off. It's already here in your y equals screen. When you press graph, you already see the function on the screen as well. So we do want to get a maximum, and to do that on the calculator, we'll use second trace. That's the calc menu. We'll select maximum. We'll be sure that we are on the left of the maximum, and we are. The maximum somewhere over here. So I'll press enter to confirm that. The next question is right bound. So I need to get to the right of the maximum, and I'll press enter to confirm that. The last question is guess. You could make a guess if you like, but that's optional. Press enter. And after that, we're given the maximum. So at about 47 years of age, the individual can expect to earn the most income, which is about $46,600. For this particular part, I want to select the age piece, the X value here representing age, and round that to the nearest tenth. And that peak income amount, we'll round this to the nearest dollar. That's going to come from the Y coordinate of the maximum. Oh, because I'm rounding up, let's do 30 right here. And with a graphing utility, graph the quadratic function of best fit on the scatter diagram or scatter plot. Which one shows that relationship? Well, we're looking at it right here. So C would be the best answer choice.